Can hear me, just drop any comments in the chat box or use the emoji signs for me to be sure that people can hear. Okay, thank you, Dan Tak. Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Mary. Fantastic. I'm going to bring up my slides so that we'll jump into our discussion for today immediately. Okay. And if you know anyone that you know is going to benefit from what we are going to be discussing today, please feel free to call their attention that we have started, so they can immediately join us, can share the link with them so they can also be able to join this session immediately. Your family and friends, your siblings, your enemy, even anybody that you know that require technology to better their lives, please feel free to share the link to this conversation with them. All right, please let's confirm when we can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please confirm that you can see my screen. Thank you, Dan Tak. I think Dan Tak is going to go home today with something because he's been very, very, very active in this conversation. So we're going to be having a conversation on cracking the code, data analytics and artificial intelligence for smarter decisions. Okay, data analytics and artificial intelligence for smarter decisions. I know many times when we hear AI, we always equate it to, oh, AI is coming here to take one or two things away from what I'm already doing. Okay, but even in our all-day activity, we've had instances where we utilized AI. Okay, so just a quick question for everyone on this call. Would you rather utilize AI or would you rather do it in a manual way? Let me, just feel free, drop your comments, use the raise hand icon, or I'll call you to speak. Would you rather utilize AI or would you rather do it the conventional way? Which one are you going to go for? Utilize AI. Fantastic. Mary said that she's going to utilize AI. I want to hear from others as well. Would you rather use AI or do it the normal way? Utilize AI. Wow. Everybody here wants to do it the easy way. Fantastic. Okay. I was discussing with a friend and she mentioned that many times that we only find ways to do things easier after we've been able to do it the hard way. All right. I mean, you've tried this several times and then you've seen, oh, this one doesn't work faster, this one doesn't work faster. And then you've been able to see the one that works easier because you've tried it several ways. So today we're going to look at several ways for us to actually be able to know which one should work for us. But either ways, whether you're looking at it to do it through the manual way or whether you're looking to infuse AI into how you make decisions using data, all of them, they are very, very much important. Okay, I also love to know you and know where you're joining us from today. Okay, so simply type in your name and the location of where you're joining us from so that we can also take demography of people that we have on this call. You can simply type, oh, I'm Mary, joining from United Kingdom, or joining from Lagos, or joining from Abuja, depending on where you are. Okay, just feel free, type in your name and where you're joining us from. And also maybe your, okay, fantastic, Mary Lagos, Osage Ibrahim, creative designer. Okay, let me quickly bring up this. Abraham said, I'm a creative writer, but don't like to use AI, but others as management decision is great. Fantastic, Abraham. That's a very, very strong, addition for us to note. Okay. Matthew from Akwa Ibom, fantastic. Dan Kat from Lagos, Amma from UK, Joel from Lagos, Emmanuel from Lagos, a data analyst as well. Okay, fantastic. We'll have people from Nigeria, Lagos, Akwa Ibom. We'll have people from UK. Fantastic. And we're going to jump right into what we have for today. All right, but who exactly is organizing this amazing event that we have right now? We are Analytics Business, okay? And we're the leading e-learning platform that helps organizations across the world to empower their teams with wide array of professional development options. So if you're looking to train your staff, or if you as an individual is also looking to improve himself or herself on a certain skill, we're also here to offer you those options. Okay, so we have access to top quality courses across diverse disciplines. In Analytics Business, okay, it is a continuous learning that we actually preach here, because every now and then there is need for us to always optimize what we knew before now. So if you knew Excel, let's say far back as 2010, okay, and you've been using Excel for long and you've not upskilled, there is already a gap that's existing in your initial skill and what you have right now. And that's where we come in to be able to equip you with all those improvements that you require to better your talent in the workspace. Okay, and who am I that I've been speaking to you for the last couple of minutes? My name is Chukwu Emeka Ekpa, and I'm the CEO of Tenalytics. Okay, so for the last couple of years, close to a decade now, I've been working in different sectors of the economy. All right, I pride myself to be a dynamic tech consultant. I've worked in GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. I've worked in strategic consulting, and right now I'm in the edtech space. Okay, personally, I've helped close to 1,500 individuals to transition from their initial career into the tech ecosystem and secure their jobs. Like I've said before, I've worked in the financial service sector, I've worked in capital markets, I've worked in hospitality business, I'm also currently in the edtech space. So feel free to message me on LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Heist, or Instagram at Ekpa_Chuks. And we're going to have a very, very constructive discussion. Okay, let's move in. So first of all, I also love for you to understand what we are doing here at Tenalytics. So for the last couple of years that we are fully helping organizations to improve themselves, we've helped close to 6,000 people, participants in different organizations, to have different skills. And not just in Nigeria, it's entirely across the premise. Oh, Dankat. All right, thank you, Dankat. Okay, not just in Nigeria, but across the globe. We've helped close to 20,000 for data analytics alone. We've helped people in business analysis, financial analytics, data engineering, Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and so on and so forth. Okay, and when it comes to the soft skill development aspect, we've handled trainings around digital marketing analytics, around sales techniques and negotiation skills. So it's not just the technical skill that we're talking about here. So even all those soft skills that you need for you to be able to excel in your work environment is also trainings that we offer. For instance, a couple of days back, we had a training on sexual harassment for a company. And these are things that we also offer depending on the need that your own organization has. So feel free to look through our own calendar and be able to find what you need and then reach out to us. We're also going to be here to help you improve on those skills that utilize. Our participants work in these various places that we have here. So you too, if you are still someone that is trying to get the skill to move to a different sector or move to a different company, can be the next person that will have that. So let's jump into our discussion for today. I have a very, very interesting question for everyone. I believe everyone within this call, we are all within, let's say, 10 years to 40, 50 years, okay? So one question, before now, if you pass through university, you must have done research work, okay? So a couple of us, we had to travel, people that were born in 1980s like myself, maybe you traveled from your location to go to a different location to go and do your research work, all right? And then there are some people that theirs were just to, okay, bring out your laptop, utilize the internet, and they're going to maybe use Google Scholar, use different research mechanisms online and get all those things that you're looking for. So who would you say is a better researcher? The guy that maybe traveled to go to the library, bring out several books, and now start skipping through all of them to find what they are looking for, or the person that simply brought out their laptops, went to Google Scholar and typed in an exact phrase of what they're looking for? Who would you say is a better researcher, the old guy or the modern guys? Let me see how we are processing this. Feel free, type it in the comment section so that we can also have your own thought process on this. Okay, the old person that used to go to the library, or the person that is utilizing laptop to do their own research. Simply go to Google, type what you want, and you're going to get it. Dankat said the old guy. Charles said there is smart work and hard work. I believe smart work is better. Fantastic from you, Dankat. Fantastic from you, Charles. Mercy said modern researcher. Joel said the modern guy. Fantastic. Is there anyone that wants to defend their own answer? Just use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak. Do you want to defend your own answer? The old guy that will normally go to the library, or the new modern guys that will just go to the internet and be able to browse using Google Scholar, get the book they are looking for, and do what they want to do? Okay, Edwin, anyone wants to speak? Do you have a volunteer that wants to speak? Mercy, Joel, Charles, Dan, Kat. Any one of you wants to speak and talk about why they chose their own person? And even before the people that travel to go to library, there is an age that existed where the library was not even there. Right? What they had to do is possibly go and meet the exact professor and have conversations with him. And then there is now the modern age guys that simply utilize AI, puts what you are looking for, and all the references that you need out there will just be provided for. So there are even several aspects of these things, right? And I'm simply asking, who do you think is a better researcher? Okay, Johnson said the modern guy. Fantastic. Dankat, all right, feel free. I've called you. Please unmute and speak, Dankat.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Dankat.
I think that goes to the library do more like a hard work, not a smart work. While am of the old generation that went to library while in school, so even though it was tedious, but it makes your brain work harder and smart because you want to dig into. I think the guy that goes to Google makes it too easy. It comes too easy for me. Just type something and then the whole thing just come up. But now when you have to go to the field, the library to do a research, my personal opinion, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for that submission, Dankat. Fantastic, fantastic response. Okay, we'll have Charles as well. Charles, please feel free to unmute yourself and speak, Charles. Dankat said the guy that needs to go to the library is better because the person has to put in the work, do the research, and get the response than the person that will just put in the words online and get their own answer. So over to you, Charles. What's your own submission?
Okay, so I feel time is
yeah, Charles, we are struggling to hear you. Do you mind speaking up a little bit?
No. Can we?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay.
Yes, it's better.
So I am of the school of thought that time is of essence. So if you take the guy who does use Google to make his research 1 hour, and you could take the guy who uses the library weeks or months to actualize his research. And within that same time, the guy who used Google could also use that same time to achieve other goals, while that guy is still, the researcher is still there making, wasting of time on the project. So there are other projects that could still be achieved with that same time. Technology is to make things easy, not dull. So even while you make research on Google, there's still room for you to read and understand. Making research is not just copy and paste. You need to read and understand what you are sending out. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Charles. So Charles is mentioning that the guy online that is working smarter can also have time to do other things. And of course, he's not just going online to copy and paste. He's also reading through and then also being able to build their own case studies from what they've been able to get online. All right, fantastic response from Dankat and also Charles. Now, my own submission to it is that they are all researchers. Okay, I'm not going to tell you whether the old library guy is better or whether the modern guy is better, but one thing is certain: before any of them embarked on the journey to do research work, they had the underground knowledge of what they want to achieve. Okay, the old researcher had already understood, okay, these are the ways that I need to do things for me to be able to arrive at this point. The modern guy also knows that this is how I need to do my thing for me to arrive at this point. Okay, it's just like someone also asking you, would you rather buy a novel, the hard copy, reading it physically, or would you rather read it virtually online? It's still the same content that you are consuming. But one person is going through the route of buying the physical copy because maybe they love to read, having their own physical assets. Another person may love to, okay, let me just read on the go, bring out their mobile phone, they are reading their own book through it. Now, they are all achieving the same thing. The most important aspect of it is do the one that is going to give you much more comfort. So if you're comfortable from this side, fantastic. If you're comfortable from this side, fantastic. But remember, there is one person that will be able to achieve it faster than you. Okay? This is now where the question comes. There's one person that is going to achieve it faster than you. So can also rephrase this to ask you, would you rather travel from Nigeria to Canada using a donkey, or would you rather fly with a plane moving from Nigeria to Canada? So all these things are also innovations that have been able to come up all through these years. Before now, means of transportation, we were using our legs, then we started using animals, then we started using the carts, animals and carts, and then we started manufacturing different means of transportation. So it's just like asking, should we use that ancient way of transportation, or should we use the one that is now modern? So all of them are means of transportation, but then there is one that is going to get you faster to where you are going to. But remember, for you to be able to transport yourself, whether you're using a donkey, or using a horse, you need to learn, how do I ride a horse? Okay? Whether you're using a car, you need to learn, how do I drive this car? So no matter the means of transportation that you want to embark with, you have to learn, how are you going to utilize that exact tool to achieve your goal? So that's the same thing that also happens when we talk about AI, right? AI is here to make our job easier. Now, how do you infuse it into your daily activities to make everything that you want to do easier? So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at data from one organization, all right? And we're going to try to practice data analytics in the normal conventional way, utilizing our tools, Power BI, Google Sheets, and so on and so forth. And we are also going to try to do it using an AI, okay? So that we can also see how these two things can actually help us by infusing both of them together to make smarter decisions. So how do you crack the code? Using data analytics, okay? And also artificial intelligence for smarter decisions. Like we all know, as of today, organizations are flooded with data from every source. So if you work in an organization, for instance, analytics right now, we have the sales department, we have operations department, we have the engineering team, we have the customer service, we have several departments. And each of these departments always bring out data. Now, how do you make sense of all the data that comes from these guys to make smart decisions? By mere looking at it, you may not be able to understand what that data is easily saying, right? Unless you analyze it and bring out insights from it, that's the only time that you can easily be able to say, oh, this is what this data is actually trying to communicate to us, right? Like I said, you have sales departments, you have your operations department, you have your marketing department, you have your customer service, everyone trying to achieve the customer's goal, which is improve the revenue of the business. But for you to be able to do this, you need to be able to make sense of all the data that these guys are bringing on board. All right, so quickly, I'm not going to waste time. So for you to crack the code for smarter decision, as a data analyst, whether you're doing it in the normal conventional way or you are using AI in data analytics, you can see that it's a double-edged arrow, which means for you to be AI data analyst, first of all, you need to understand data analytics. All right, you need to understand data analytics. There's what we call vibe coding. As of today, you can use generative AIs to, build AIs, build what's it called, platforms right now. They're going to write the code for you and they're going to ship it. Okay, it's called vibe coding. But even if you vibe code, you need to understand what you are exactly doing. All right, and that's the same way that data analytics and AI data analytics is also moving around together. Even if you use AI to generate your own insights, you need to first of all understand what you are doing, because there's something that is very, very crucial. If you don't understand what you are doing, if you are asked question, oh, why is this one like this? You're simply going to go back to that AI and ask AI, oh, AI, why is this like this? But if you had the underground knowledge of what you are doing, that's simply the places where you can now comfortably be able to answer any questions that come. So if you're looking to be able to utilize AI to make or bring out insights from data, you need to first of all understand what the data analysts actually do. Okay, so please let's make sure we feed the attendance form that my colleague Treasure is dropping, so that by the end of this conversation, you're going to have access to the slide that we're using and also have the recorded version of this conversation, so that I can easily go through it and be able to understand anything depending on where you dropped off. So as a data analyst, step one is for you to actually understand problem solving. All right. So if you don't understand problem solving, it simply means that when you get to the business, you don't even know what you are there to do. Because most people actually think that as a data analyst, you are simply there to build visuals and make sense of their data. You are there to solve a problem. All right. You are there to look at their data, find out, okay, this is what happened, and this is the reason why it happened, which means we need to do this for us to be able to prevent it from happening again. So first is you need to understand problem solving. You need to also move towards Excel. Then you understand SQL. This is where it starts getting interesting. SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and also data storytelling. Data storytelling is very, very important. And it's not something that AI is going to tell you. The truth is that AI actually can tell you the story that you need to tell. But if you don't have it in you on how to tell such story, you're going to miss out on how to actually be able to speak up, right? So these things are very important for you. And also you now move towards Microsoft Fabric for analytics, which is now where AI starts coming in. And then step two is now you moving towards AI, right? But from the aspect that you've jumped to AI, oh, let me use AI to analyze data. If questions are asked, the only thing they can do is now say, okay, let me go back to the AI and ask the AI question. So there is need for you to understand the underlying concepts that is now making that AI to be able to give you what you're looking for. Right? So quickly, we're going to look at this case study. How many of us have been to my session before now? Because I've used this exact case study, and that's why I want to replicate it again. We're going to use it again, and then we're now going to look at how AI is also going to be able to use that same analysis. All right, so quickly, this is a customer purchase behavioral analysis for Shopalytics. All right, and Shopalytics is a retail analytics firm that is focused on providing data-driven insights for omnichannel and local businesses across Nigeria. Okay, they use customer purchase data collected from nationwide partners and help companies to make smarter marketing, inventory, and expansion decisions. So in this case study, we're going to look at the purchasing behavior from close to 1,000 individual transactions across the 36 states, and then look at the data set, which includes the customer details, gender, sex, price, and several other things that we have there. Okay, so the reason why I'm asking us to fill the attendance form is that we may not easily be able to follow every single thing that I'm going to be practicing today. All right, but when you fill the attendance form, you have access to recorded version of this conversation and also to the slide. So that personally on your own, you can now practice everything that we're also going to be doing. Okay, now for this project, first thing I want us to do is the aim. We have to itemize what's the aim of this project. What are we looking to achieve in the end? One is we need to improve revenue by targeting customers with lower purchase numbers. That's one thing that we need to also do. And two is that we also need to improve revenue by targeting states with lower purchase numbers. And as well, we need to identify our top selling items and run maybe Meta ads or to ramp, Google ads for us to be able to ramp in more numbers. Okay. And then quickly, this is also for all of us here. When you look at my slide now, I'm going to ask us a question. Which item do we think is the best performing item? All right, this is the data set that we have from Shopalytics, which is a subsidiary of Tenalytics. All right, so which item do we think is giving us the highest revenue? Can we easily tell by what we have here? Just feel free to type it in the comment section so that we can move on as fast as possible. And also, can you tell the customer that patronized us the most for this last fiscal year? Is it something that you can easily say? Messi said laptop is giving us highest. Fantastic. Messi said laptop. Okay, laptop 350. Okay, let's hear from others. Do you have any other response? Mary said no, that she can't tell the customer that gave us the highest purchase. Okay, so I think I'm going to write on with Mary's response. Okay, so Timothy also said no, we can't. As well as Joel, no, we can't. So when you look at this now, it will be hard for you to actually make sense of these data. All right. So whether you work in sales or whether you work in operations or whether you work in marketing or legal or compliance, or you're even I don't know, there's no role that you are going to be performing in the organization that you will not have need for you to analyze data. Okay, I was speaking to a nurse a couple of weeks back. She mentioned that she wants to transition. She's trying to find the easiest place to transition through. And we looked at what she was doing as a nurse. This is someone has been a nurse for close to 7 years. As a nurse, the only thing that she practiced is understand what happened and why it happened. And that's the same thing that data analysts also do. They're trying to understand what happened and why it happened. And it's simply descriptive analytics, which is what happened, then diagnostic analytics, which is why it happened. And from that aspect, we're able to see, oh, even as a nurse, you've been practicing data analytics from your own health sector without even knowing. So she can easily transition to data analytics because that's an inherent skill that she already have. All right, so clearly I can see that nobody was able to say, okay, this is the person that gave us the most. All right, but from what you can see on my slide now, can you easily tell the customer that gave us the highest revenue? Can we easily tell now? And can we also be able to tell the top selling item by number of purchase, the number of times we sold that item? Can we easily be able to identify these things now? Mary is saying yes. Fantastic. And I'm sure that every other person can easily be able to say, okay, this is what we made. This is the total that got from it. This is so, and so. So easily can see how from looking at something like this, which you can make sense of. Imagine this is just 20 line items that we have here. Now imagine when you are working on a data that is close to 1,000. How can you actually be able to make sense of it? So let's jump into our tools and be able to see what we are going to be doing. So for today, we're going to be looking at Google Sheets, Power BI, ChatGPT, Cloud, and also Gemini. Okay, so Google Sheets and Power BI from the aspect of the manual aspect of data analytics, while ChatGPT, Cloud, and Gemini from the aspect of how can AI now make these things easier for us. So first thing we need to do when you are about to utilize Power BI is that you are going to extract data. All right, extract data. That's always the first phase. You're trying to extract data from a source and then bring it to Power BI for you to now be able to analyze it. So next is for you to transform. So when you are bringing this data in, sometimes it may not be clean. So there is need for you to actually be able to transform them, make it cleaner, clean them, and be able to utilize that data. All right. And of course, now be able to load it. Okay. So they can now have a structured model they can use to build your reports. Okay. So 3 things that I've talked about. And first one is extraction. So we need to extract data from a source. Right. So first thing, we need to extract data from a source. And then we need to transform that data. And then finally, we need to load the data. Okay, so quickly, let's jump into what we have. All right, so when you get this slide, once you click on this, it's going to take you to where we have that data set. All right, so clearly you can see this place that we have this raw data set. What you saw on my screen, it was just showing only 20. But right now, you can see that the data is actually close to 1,000. It's close to 1,000. So how can you actually say this is what gave us what we needed? This is what gave us the highest revenue, and so on and so forth. So when you come to this place, what I want you to do is to first of all copy this link to this sheet. All right. Once you come here, you are copying the link to this data set. So let me copy it. Why I'm using Google Sheets is that sometimes Excel, we may not have the paid version, but for Google Sheets, I believe once you have a Gmail account, for the fact that you're on Discord, it means that you have a Gmail account. You can have access to Google Sheets. All right, so once you copy the link, next thing I need you to do is now to also, open up your Power BI. All right, I need to open up your Power BI. So quickly, I'm going to open a fresh report so that we can do these things from the scratch and see that. All right, so that we can do this from the scratch and see how we can actually be able to achieve the same thing. All right, so once you open up your Google Sheets, you have access to it, and also installing Power BI, it is entirely free. All right, Power BI is entirely free. So if you have a laptop, you can actually be able to achieve what we're trying to do right now. So like I said, what I want to do now, we can achieve it in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, how do we get to Power BI? Fantastic question, Mary. So Mary, so easily, what I always advise people is you can download Power BI, can easily download Power BI, right? So let me also show us how we can do that. Okay, my laptop, please don't hang. All right, so quickly, let me show us how we can do that. All right, so all these are easily available for everyone that also, get into our programs. Always share links for people to download these things. So for you to install Power BI, I can easily click on Install Power BI. And you're going to see the link that you need for it immediately pop up for you. Can see download Microsoft Power BI desktop from the official Microsoft guides. Okay, so this is the easiest way for you to install your Power BI. All right, so Mary.
John, I wonder.
All right, Treasure, please, do you mind muting everyone? Do you mind muting everyone? I think there are some people that are muting themselves. Umar just unmuted himself. The form is not opening. Oh, let me check. So once you can, we're able to get to the form immediately, because I know I've not dropped the link or anything. All right, so let me drop the link for us also in the comment section. So once you have access to the slide, you can go to where we have it. Okay, the form is not open, and I think that might be for the attendance one. Okay, Treasure, please look at that and let's see that it's resolved. All right, so let's move on. Remember, like I said, make sure you fill the attendance form so that on your own, you can easily practice these things. So once you get into your Power BI, the first thing that you are going to be seeing is you are going to be seeing a blank page like this. You are going to be seeing a blank page like this. So I want to close the old work that I have so that I can actually be able to build this new one from the scratch. I hope I saved this. All right, so let's do this from the scratch. So once you get into this place, first thing that you need to do is you need to connect to a data source. All right, you need to connect to a data source. So right here, what you now need to do is, can we see this icon that we have here that is saying get data? So once you click on your get data, it says the site can't be reached. Charles, it is your network, most likely, Charles. It is your network. All right. So just keep trying. I'm sure it's going to open up for you because other people have actually been able to fill the form as well. Okay. So I'm going to move a little bit faster because this one is supposed to be like a 1 hour session. So because we are trying to connect to a Google Sheet, you can see that what you have here, you can see connect to Excel workbook, connect to data flows, connect to data vars, connect to web, connect to several places. So simply click on more because the link that we have is a Google Sheet link. So you can see the different places you can connect to using Power BI. So all you have to now do is simply look for Google Sheets and click on Google Sheets. So once you click on Google Sheets, click on Connect. All right, once you click on Connect, you can see the option for you to now type in that link that you copied initially. So immediately you type it in, you can now simply click on OK. All right, so while it is connecting, I think Emmanuel's hand is up. Yeah, Emmanuel, please feel free to unmute and ask your question. Emmanuel, are you there?
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking, I said I can't actually see anything on my screen. I can't see what you guys are doing. I'm just actually jotting down. So how do I resolve that?
All right, Emmanuel, if you want to drop off and join back, right? Just drop off and join back. I'm sure that is going to be resolved immediately. Okay. Chris, your hand is also up. Please feel free to unmute and speak. Christian. Yeah, Christian, your hand is up. Please feel free to speak. Okay, Christian is not speaking. Busari, please feel free to speak. Ibrahim Busari.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, please, what you just did just now, I can, because my line was breaking. So can you please recap and let me see the way you go about it, sir?
All right, thank you, Busari. Christian, is your own question.
Okay, hello, good evening, everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, good evening, Christian.
my question is how are we going to, I'm not seeing this thing. You said that we can fill a form whereby we, if you want to get this, if you want to come back to watch this program again, we can easily access it. But I'm not seeing anything to fill. Like, is it on the WhatsApp group or we?
All right. Thank you so much, Christian. Okay. So there is a link that my colleagues Treasure and also Tenarity's Business, there's a form they are dropping. All right. So once you fill that attendance form, by the end of this session, we are going to share the slide and also the recorded version of this discussion with everyone. All right. So if we have to fill it and then we'll share it with everyone by the time that we are done. Okay.
Yes, my
answer.
how can I get the how can I see the thing I have to fill?
Okay, Christian, are you using a phone or a laptop?
Okay, I'm using a phone. Okay, I've seen it now.
All right. Okay, fantastic. So just tap on the chat section, scroll up, and you're going to see the link that my colleagues are dropping. Okay. So we need to move a little bit faster, and that's why these sessions are always recorded. All right. So that personally, if we have challenges, can now watch the recording and be able to follow through as fast as possible. Okay, so I'm going to mute Christian and also Busare. I know you asked a question around how you're also going to get this. Is when you fill the attendance form, then you also get it. All right, once you fill the attendance form, then my colleagues are dropping, you get it. So remember, we've connected to a data source. All right, I'm going to move on right now and try to move very, very fast. So that data source that we've connected to, which is a Google Sheet, there are several sheets that exist. There is CX, there is marketing, there is ops, and then there is raw data sales. So for instance, we want to import data that is from that sales aspect. All right, so you've selected the table that you want to bring in, and most time you have the temptation to click on load because it's the first thing here. But remember the different steps that I spoke about. First step is to import. All right. First step is for you to extract data. Second step is for you to transform it. And then the third one is for you to now load. So we've extracted this data from the Google Sheet, and this is the data that we have there. Next one is for us to transform it, right? So you click on transform, and you're going to be instantly going into the Power Query editor of Power BI. So inside Power Query, this is where you can now easily be able to make changes to your data. All right, for instance, if you look at this data, it is not clean. You're going to also notice that it's not clean here because this green icon here is not going to be green anymore. All right, so you can see error is 0, empty is 0. Okay, so once you click on it, it's showing you those information. If there are issues with it, it's also going to tell you that this is the issue that we have. So look at our data, you can see that the name of customer state is now on row 1, and that's not what we want. We want to those headings of those columns to be a heading and not to be part of the row. So first thing you have to do is simply come here. You can see where I'm hovering over. Under your home tab, go to this use first row as header, and then simply click on it, and you've now changed your first row to be your header icons. Okay, you change your first row to be your header. So now that you've done this, you can easily look through what you have. Name of customer, state, item purchased, gender, sex, number of purchases that they made, price, and then also the date of the purchase. All right, so clearly you can see what you have. You have your number of purchases and you have the price of the item. Now, clearly from this, it's obvious that we don't have the revenue provided for us. Okay, there's no column here that is for revenue. So what do you need to do for you to now have revenue? So for us to get revenue of these things, what is the formula for us to get revenue? We have number of purchases made by each customer, and we have the price of that item. So what can you do for you to get the revenue? What can you do for you to get the revenue? Please, can you send the link? Okay, that's for treasure. What can you do for you to get revenue? Nobody's answering, so I'm going to move a little bit fast. So if you're looking to get revenue, it's simply now price multiplied by the number of purchases that you made. Okay, price multiplied by the number of purchases that you made. Someone is price. Thank you. Okay, I mean price and purchases. All right, fantastic. Now, measure may not actually give you what you're looking for here because measure may not actually give you what you're looking for here because you need a column that is telling you each of the revenue that each customer is giving you. All right, so for this item, what we're going to now do is we are going to add a new column that we're going to call revenue. Okay, so what you need to do in this instance is simply click on this add column tab. Okay, simply click on that add column tab, click on custom column. Okay, click on the add column tab, click on custom column, and then simply let's name that new column that we want to be revenue. Okay, and revenue is simply a product of price. So you have to select the column that you need, which is price, and then click on insert, and then simply type in your star and then select your number of purchase, and then click on insert again. So you can simply see that we have price multiplied by number of purchases. So once you click OK right now, you're going to see that a new column has been created for us, which is now called revenue. Okay, a new column has been created, which is now called revenue. So you can decide I want to move it to be before the date. So I've moved it here by selecting that column and dragging it left. So I selected and drag it left, and you can easily see the price of this is 150,000. This person did 5 times, and revenue that person provided to us is 750,000. So now we have the revenue that we made from each of these people. Okay, and as a data analyst also, because I've looked at this data, I'm seeing purchase dates. There's one thing I also want to have. I want to have different quarter, because this is their last year reports. I want to have what happened in Q1, what happened in Q2, and what happened in Q3 and Q4. But by looking at this purchase date, it's simply giving me the date that these things happened. All right, so I want to also add a column that I'm going to call the quarter column. Okay, the quarter column. So simply what I need to do is the same process as well. I'll be on the purchase date, and I'm already on the add column. Okay, but in this instance, you're not clicking on custom column. What you're going to now do is to click on this date that is already existing here, because Power BI have some items already created for you. If you want to get it to show start of year, end of year, or the month by numbers, quarter or week by numbers, or day by numbers, you can select. But for this, I want to have quarter of the year. So I've clicked on that same column for dates. I've highlighted it. I've clicked on add column, and then I've selected this date icon here, and then simply select on quarter and click on quarter of the year. So immediately I do that, it's showing me quarter of the year, showing that this one happened in first quarter, this second quarter, and so on and so forth, fourth quarter downwards. So I've been able to also add a column that is telling me what I need. Okay, I hope we are all still following me. I'm going to move a little bit faster, okay, because I'm supposed to finish this in 1 hour. So once you are done, next thing you have to now do is simply come to your home, click on this close and apply, and simply close and apply, so that every single thing that you've done in the transform part in the Power Query will now be loaded to your data. Okay, can we group by quarter? Yes, Mary, that's simply what we did right now. We created a new table, but that table, we want it to have the different numbers that represent each quarter. And that's what we're able to do right there. There's a lot of hand raised. So I'm going to simply, sorry guys, I don't know why my eye is biting me. Okay, there's a lot of hand raised. First person with the hand raised is Sharif. Hi Sharif, please go ahead with your question. 30 seconds. Sharif, are you there? 30 seconds. Imosemi, also go ahead, 30 seconds. Okay, Priscilla, please go ahead, 30 seconds.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please. We can hear you, Priscilla. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. Number one, what prompted you to add those extra columns. Like in a real scenario, if you're giving data by a company or whoever, would they instruct you? As in, would this be based on instructions, or did you
All
just
right.
on decide to? That's my first question, and then my second question, I can't remember. If I remember, I'll raise my hands up. Sorry, you're itching your eyes. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guy. I don't know. My eyes are itching badly. Okay. All right. So, Priscilla, because I've been doing this before now, that's why I had that understanding. But remember, as a data analyst, you can see the first thing that we mentioned here, which is the first thing you need to learn is problem solving. Right? First thing you need to learn is problem solving. How do you solve a problem? Right? So this is the place where you're going to understand the different things that you are expected to do as a data analyst. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, Priscilla. So that's why I already understand that I need to create all those things, because if I'm working on anything sales data for any company, I need to be able to create and give them information based on what happened quarterly, right? I need to be able to tell them this is what happened in Q1, this is what happened in Q2, and so on and so forth, right? So that's why I can comfortably be able to do it, because I understand these things. But for you as a data analyst, that's why I said it's not just about building visuals. First thing that you need to understand is problem solving. This problem that you're encountered with, what are the different things that you need to do to solve that problem, right? So that's why I know that I need to do all those things. So for you, remember, you are learning Power BI, which is number 4. There are several things that you should have also have understanding of before this exact place that we are currently on. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying now, Priscilla. So it's not something you learn in 2 hours or 3 hours. No, it's not. Okay, but I'll also show you the easier way using AI as well. So that's where we'll get into how we can actually be able to utilize AI and the actual data itself. Okay, Tom, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Yeah, Tom, you joined as a companion, so you may not be able to speak. All right, you need to leave the call and join back. All right, you joined as a companion, so you may not be able to speak. Leave the call and join properly. Imoseni, please go ahead with your own question.
Okay, good evening. Mine is an observation. I noticed you didn't check for errors and probably duplicates or any column that is omissions before
All right.
uploading your data.
Yeah, fantastic observation. Fantastic one. Now, if you look through when we were speaking, let me go back to my Power BI. All right. I showed where our data is showing 0 error. All right. So inside your Power Query, right here, you can easily, once you hover over it, you can easily see an item that is provided for you telling you error is 0%. And the easier way to know this is that if you have a red on these green bars here, if you look at this green bar, I can see we have 921 data valid, 0 error, 0 empty, right? 0 error, 0 empty. So by looking at this, can easily now be able to easily see that they are all clean data. And also because I'm the owner of the data, all right, so from instances, you will not actually have a clean data. And for you to work on a dirty data, trust me, to teach it is not something you can solve within 3 hours. All right, so that's why I'm actually working on a data set that clearly I understand, because it's part of our complete data set. But that's where the learning process comes in. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Imosemi. So that's why when I was speaking, I mentioned that once you hover over this green icon, you're going to see 100% valid and so on and so forth. So this is training, and I know my data. Okay, but remember, as a data analyst, it's a continuous learning process. The data you're working with today is going to be different from tomorrow. For instance, what we're working for today is even a simple table. For you to even work properly on several data sets, you are going to even build models. You are connecting to several data sets. You are identifying your primary key and your secondary key. But for the purpose of this training, we're not going to be going towards that robust aspect. All right, it's level by level, Imosemi, level by level. So for you, because maybe you have a certain understanding, it might be easier for you at this level. Okay, so I've used 30 minutes that I'm supposed to use and do this to do explanation. Hey guys, you guys have to allow me to move a little bit faster. Okay, So next thing now is we've been able to load our data here. So if we click on this data icon here, to bring it down, you can see that table that we loaded, they're all existing here. All right. If you also click on this table view, you're going to see that same table that we've also been able to create, that it is now fully existing here. So next thing for you to do now is for you to now start, creating your visuals. Okay. Next thing for you to do is for you to now start creating your visuals. So first thing is, let's go back to our report view. So on this report view, this is where you are expected to now build the visual of what you want to achieve. All right, so there's a pane here called visualization pane. You have to also expand it, right, so they can have the different chart style that you want to utilize for this sake. Okay, so what are we going to name this? So when it comes to visual, trust me, it's always based on your own perception of how you want it to look. There's one thing I always do. For every data set I analyze, I bring out my paper and pen and I draw how I want that visual to look. Once I draw it, I can now come to my own Power BI and be able to now build it. So first is I'm sketching it on my book and then going back to Power BI to replicate the same thing. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I'm going to move fast because if we're trying to carry every single person along right now, this session will not end till next week. So first thing I want to do is I want to be able to have a column or a card that identifies the person or the business that we are working on. Okay, I want to have, is Google Meet classroom more like, is this our mode of learning? Okay, yes, Nefisat. So Google Meet is always the means of learning. We'll have Google Meet, we'll have Zoom, but most time we use Google Meet when we'll have lesser number of people registered. But we'll have large number of people, we move to Zoom. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Nefisat. I'm going to now run very, very fast. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to add a text. So I'm going to add a text box. Simple text box that I'm going to use to name this our project or the person that is building it. All right. So I love using Tahoma. So you also know if your company have a specific font style that they use, this is where you also make sure that you abide by your own company style. Okay, let me expand this to at least 36 so that it can be very, very large. What are we going to name this? Let's call it who has been active the most on this call, who has been active the most on this call. I think it's Mary. So let's call it Mary Analytics. So Mary, you have a company now. Let's call it Mary Analytics. So Mary has floated her own company. You can see that it's very, very small. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to highlight it and make it very bold. And then change the size to be very, very large as well. Then stretch this place. I want it to move end to end. I've stretched it. Remember, I told you, first thing you need to do is in your head, you need to construct what you want to build and how you want it to look. Okay, I think Mary Analytics sounds somehow. Let's rephrase it. Let's call it M Analytics. But Mary is simply dedication to you for being very, very active. All right, so we've done this. We'll bring it up. And then let me change it to Tahoma, like I said, because I love using Tahoma. It's a personal bias. And it's also because it is my own company font. All right, so I've changed it to Tahoma and I want it to be centralized. I've moved it to be here. Okay, so this is simply what we have right now. So once you highlight anything that is on this place you are creating, once you highlight it, there's a format section that exists for you here. So in this format section, you can decide how you want this to also look. For instance, if you come to properties, you can see things that you can do. Come to position, you can see things that you can do. Come to padding, you can see also, depending on how you want to shift it from your margin. So that is what each of these aspects represent. All right, I'm not doing anything in the property. In the title, I've already titled this as M Analytics, so I don't need to turn it up. In the effect, I want it to have a shadow. I hate using borderlines, okay, but I prefer using shadow. So I'm not going to turn on the borderline. I'm going to simply turn on the shadow. So if I turn on the shadow, you can simply see what it has done. It has now created a shadow underneath it. that is going to also look like we actually use the line. It is also a personal bias. So that's why I said when it comes to the visual, it is now based on your own creativity also. Sometimes ladies do so well because they already use the colors and also how to do contour and matching and so many things. Okay, but for the guys, don't feel like you can't also match up. All right, so I've created this, and I also want to have, I don't want it to be a plain white background. Okay, I don't want it to be a plain white background. So you can see when I click on effects, I'm seeing the color here is fully white. Can decide to change it to any color I want. So let me work with this color, all right? Because it somehow represents our color. Okay, but once I click on it, you can see that these have instantly, you can't even see that M analytics anymore. So this is our brand color, that initial one I selected, and I'm going to highlight the M analytics again, come to font color here and change it to our second brand color. So right now I can easily see the M analytics boldly showing. Remember, first thing we did is we use the text box to bring this out, and then we are adding these several aspects. Then I'm going to move very, very fast. So next is for me to add different cards. Okay, next is for me to add different cards. So I want to utilize the KPI aspect to build this. Okay, or you can also utilize the card aspect to also build this. Okay, so let me use card. So once I click on this visual here called card, it's going to come up like this for me. Can we see my screen? It's going to come up like this. So you can see what it's telling you. Select or drag fields to populate this visual. So because it's entirely empty, it's not showing anything. But I want to show some key performance indicators from our data. So next thing I'm going to do is, this is where you can add things to. You can see this field here that I'm hovering over. So I want to show the total revenue that we had. So all I'll simply do is click on this revenue on this place and drag and place it inside this field here. Okay, drag and place it inside this field here. So it's showing first revenue, but this is not what I'm looking for. It's showing me first revenue. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the total revenue. So all you have to do is simply also click. If something is off here. I think my visual didn't. All right, something is off here. I need to go back to my Power Query and look at what happened to my revenue. Quickly. Okay, quickly. And look at what happened to my revenue. Fantastic. So when I dropped it, it's showing in a way that it is not good. And the reason is this. Revenue here didn't choose a particular style. You can see that you have the text format here, you have the numbers format here. But revenue is a number. Okay, so it doesn't have to be text or number. So what I have to do now is simply click on it and select for it to be a whole number. All right, simply click on it and select for it to be a whole number. So once I've done that, you can easily see I'll close and apply. So when you are doing yours, I'll advise you to actually select, do this step when you're in that Power Query. Okay, do this step when you're inside the Power Query so that easily you can have a more robust data without going back and forth into it. Okay, now this is understanding that you need to have. Sometimes your data will come in, go back to Power Query because there's an issue, and so on and so forth. So now that I've done this, I'll simply carry my revenue again and drop it in these field segments. So you can see it's now showing me sum of revenue. So this is our total revenue that we have from this business entirely. Our total revenue that we made was 243 million. All right, but this is covering so many sides of this. So next thing that you need to do is to beautify this how you want. Okay, so I want it to be at the center of this thing that we are building right now, this dashboard. I want it to be at the center. So I'll make it to be smaller and bring it to this center, which is here. So I have my 243. So when you click on it again, you come back to this place and click on format your visual. right? I want to format it to look enticing. So once I click on it right now, it's going to now be showing me several things that I want to do. Okay, so this is my call out value. And also you have your category label. So do I want that category label there? No, I've turned it off because I want to give it a title to be on top. So I've turned the category label off entirely, and my call out label, my call out value, I love the way it's looking. So I've simply come to general and to do other things. So general, you can see that the title is here. I'll click on. So it has turned on the title for me. I can now click inside it and give it a title, which is total revenue. I'll type in total revenue, highlight it, and then bolding it. So you can see that we have our total revenue clearly showing right here now. All right, our total revenue is now showing. Now, if you want to do any beautification, if you want yours to be left-sided, you can choose. If you want it to be right-handed, you can choose. I love it centralized, so I'm leaving it that way. If you want to add subtitles, if you want to add a divider, which is going to create sort of a divider like this, you can also do that. It is fully you that you now determine how you want this to actually look. But in data analytics, there's one rule I want all of us to know. Less is more. The more you put so many things on your dashboard, the more it's becoming so much encumbered that people will not understand what you are doing. Right? So I don't want all those many things there. So I'm going to remove that divider again. The only thing I just want to put is I want my shadow to be showing. So if I come here, I'll simply click on my shadow again, and it has added a shadow for me as well. All right, so this is it. Now, instead of me to be creating multiple cards, I can simply click on this first one and copy and paste it. So I pasted it into two different places because I have other cards that I also want to build. So I pasted it here, and I'm making it smaller. I pasted this one here, and I'm also making it smaller as well. All right, so I want to also create other things that I want to add here. Remember, we have our total revenue. What other thing can we also show to make our customer or our stakeholders see what is going on? So next thing is, let me show total purchase. So all I have to now do is simply click on this one and remove some of revenue in the field here where it is existing. I've removed it. And then I will now drag number of purchase into that same field. So you can see clearly it has now changed from total revenue to our number of purchases. All right. So what I can do now is you can decide whether you want to show average. When you click on this small arrow here, you have several things that you can easily decide that you want to do. Do you want to show the average? Do you want to show the minimum, the maximum, or anything that you want to show about it? But I want to show the total purchase, right? Total number of purchase. So remember, it's still showing the title of total revenue. So that same way, still be in that place, go to general, and then change the title to total purchase. So that's simply what I've done, and it has changed. All right. Then I also want to show the prices as well. So using this left side also, what I simply have to do is highlight it also, remove the thing that you have in your field, and then drag my price into it. And I'm having my total price as well. Remember, after you make that change, next thing that you need to now do is to now remove your title, which is showing that total revenue. Remove it and now show it to be price. And how do you do that? Click on it and then go to the visual again, click on format your visual, go to general, go to title, and change it from total revenue to price. All right, I've changed it to price. So clearly I can see the total revenue we got, total number of purchases that happened, and also the price that also all those things were sold for. Okay, now I want to show my quarter. Remember, I added Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, because I want to be able to know what happened in Q1 alone, what happened in Q2 alone, and what happened in Q3 or Q4 alone. Okay, so let me make these things a little bit smaller so that I can actually be able to have more things on this. Let me make it smaller. Remember, less is more. Okay, so let me add my slicer now. So for you to add a slicer, there's also a visual called slicer. Slicer is simply for you to click to select a particular range of what you're looking for. Okay, so let me select my slicer, which is simply this. So when I click on slicer, I want it to be within this space up here. Right? Remember, everything that I'm doing here is based on how beautiful you want your own to be. How do you want it to look? All right, so this is how where I want my slider to be. All I have to do now is drag this quarter and drop it inside this field also. So you can see it's now showing me 1 to 4, everything here. But I want it to be able to show all of them as an item or as a button. So all I have to now do is click on that same slicer, come back to your visual, come to slicer setting. How do you want it to be? It's showing in between, tile, drop down, and so on and so forth, vertical list. Let me click it to be in vertical list. You can see that it's showing 1, 2, 3, 4. If you select that you want it to be in drop down, it's going to show you like this. Anyhow you want it, it's going to show you clearly how you want it to look like. I want mine to show as a button. So let me select that vertical, single select of multiple select with, and also allow multiple selection in checkboxes. If you want to select one upon in Q1 and Q2 together, or Q1 alone, you can turn it on here or you can turn it off here. Remember, these are what you are doing in your slicer settings. These are what you are doing in your slicer setting. You can come to slicer header. How do you want it to look? Do you want to make it bold? You can click on it and your quarter is now bold. So once you are moving over this thing, you can easily see how all of them are going to be looking like. Okay, it's now less. So if you want to add a background, you can say they want to add a background and so on and so forth. All right, so let me move on and simply do it the way I love mine to look. All right, so properties, I'll come here and make it to look. Visual border, no. I want it to just have a shadow. Data format, no. All right, I want it to also be able to show me every single slicer that we have. Immediately I click on it. All right, so I'll select for it to be in vertical form. All right, slicer setting option, vertical list, yeah, drop down between. Okay. There's also going to be a horizontal option that we can see here sometimes. All right, you can also get the horizontal option here sometimes. So let me keep it as a tile. All right, I want it to be as a tile. So I've selected a tile, which is showing me this now, so that all of them can actually show easily. But is it giving me what I want? No. Can still do other, changes to it. Can still make changes to how this is looking, depending on how you want your own to look like. Remember, it's depending on how you want your own to look like. Let me come down here and make a couple of changes also. Effects. If I come to effect, I love it to be in white. Visual border, no. Shadow, yes, I've already added that. Data format, apply to all settings. The way it is okay for me. The format is also okay for me. Header icons, am I making any changes? No, I like it like that. Icons, you can now decide how icons that you also want to be showing here. So there are several options for you to choose through, but let's keep it simple. All right, let's keep it very, very simple. So we selected tiles. We selected tiles in our slicer setting, which is this. You scroll down, selection, select all, slicer heading, quarter. We've made it like this. Border is okay like this. Background, none. Pending icons. If you want to add anything, you can decide you want to add those ones. So I want it to also fit into this place. I want all of them to fit into this same small space that I have. So you can decide to make it smaller and then make it to align with your initial cards that you already have there. Okay, so I already have all of them here. So clearly you can see this is what happened in Q1 alone. This is what happened in Q2 alone. This is what happened in Q3 alone. This is what happened in Q4 alone. So you can now speak from a very interactive data set. Are we all still following? You can make changes to this slicer. You can beautify it more. So you can click on it, slicer setting. Do you still want to make other changes to the general option or the effect? There's an option for you to even change it from being like this to make it to be in oval form. So all these things is just serere. That's what we call it, serere. But once you understand what you need to do, the rest is now on you on how do you want to beautify the icons? What do you want to do on them? So all these other things that you're seeing here, they're all just serere. Okay? They're just effects that you can add to them to make them now come out maybe better for you depending on your own choice. Yeah, Johnson, please go ahead. Johnson, please go ahead to a question. Johnson, your hand is
everyone.
up. Yeah.
Yes, at a point the video stopped displaying.
All right, my video is showing clearly, Johnson, so I may not be able to go back, and that's why I said please fill the attendance form. Once you fill the attendance form, you have access to this, and someone is going to share the link with you and the recorded version with you also. All right, so yeah, there's going to be individual issues from people. All right, there's going to be individual issues, but once you fill it, you have access to recorded version to do anything you want, watch it at your own pace, and be able to make changes. Okay, so I'm going to move very, very fast now because I've just been able to do only 4 things from this entire period. So if you want to add colors to this, let me even show us how to add colors. I love my work looking sweet actually. So if you come here also on that same general, you see the place that you have your icons. When you go to effect, you see how do you want these icons to be showing. Okay, it's not here, it's on visuals. How do you want them to be showing? The link is not reachable. Treasure, please check. And also, Nefisat, some people has filled the form. So most likely it's from your end. If it's not working for you, just try to change the internet, the network provider you're currently using, and you are going to have access to it. Okay, some people has filled it, which means clearly it is from your own side. So let's move on. Now I've been able to identify all this. Let me remove it from Q1 and have everything right there. So next thing I want to also show is I want to show all the items that we have. All the items that we have, I want it to also display here. I want it to display in form of a slicer as well. So also insert my slicer, and then in this field segment, I'm going to put item purchase inside it and also stretch it to reach this place. So you can clearly see that it is now showing me all the items purchased. The same way you did your other one. How do you want your slicer to look? Vertical list? No, I want it to be like a tile. So if I do it as a tile, it's now clearly showing me all the items that we sold right here. Okay, it's showing me all the items that we showed right here. So if you decide to know what happened only to Blender, click on Blender. You can see Blender gave us 4 million naira revenue. It was purchased 238 times, and total price for all of them is 945K. Okay, are we following? So you can easily see how using slicer makes it easier for you to look at it item by item. Look at it item by item. So I'm going to now move very, very fast because of want of time. So I've added this. Next thing I have to do is also, like I said, I love shadow. So I'm just going to be using only shadow to show my distinction. All right, so why I use shadow is because I don't like using lines. So shadow helps me to create that line also. So next thing I want to create is, I want to create how did people now purchase from us. All right, people that made purchases from us, how did they purchase, which is revenue by customer. So I'm going to simply use this bar chart here. Okay, I'm going to use this bar chart that exists here. Okay, this clustered bar chart here. And the only thing I have to now do is, you have your y-axis here, you have your x-axis here. Drag name of customer rather into your y-axis, and then drag. Remember, it's by revenue. You want to know who gave us the highest revenue from all those purchases, and I'll now drag revenue into it. So you can clearly see it is now showing me this immediately. All right, it is now showing me this immediately. Remember what I said, less is more. So on this chart now, there's a lot of things that is showing us here. There is name of customer here, there is sum of revenue here. We don't need all these things. So the same way when you click on it, click on this, format your visual, right? On the y-axis, what do we want to show on the y-axis? I want those names of customers to show, which is the values. I want them to show. I want them to be a little bit bold, okay? And then, of course, I do not need the title anymore, because if you are seeing this Tolu Okoro, Amaka Yusuf, you don't need this name of customer. It is too much information at that point. So what I need to now do is turn off that title. So it has removed it, and we'll just have this one existing. The same thing you can also do in your x-axis. So for x-axis, I need my values to show, but I don't need that title showing sum of revenue. Okay, so I simply turn off the title that is also there, and it is now also showing me clearly. So I've been able to show this less by more. So if you want to add grid lines, add zoom slides, add different things, this is now the option for you. So I want to add data labels. So you can easily see this person purchased 9.2 million, this person purchased 8.8 million revenue from us, and so on and so forth. So I want to change the bar icon too. Once I click on the bar, click on colors here, and then pick your brand color. This is my brand color, and that is what I want to work with. All right, so I want to make it smaller so that I can also be able to add other visual to this. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to add more visual to this. But are we still following to this very much? You can see we've created this. All you have to now do is simple. Be thinking of what you want to come up with. But remember, for you to be able to understand what you want to come up with, you need to actually understand problem solving. That's why I always mention to people, it's not just about creating visual. As a data analyst, first thing that you're coming to do is to solve a problem. And for you to solve a problem, you need to understand problem solving. Okay, so I've done this. You can also come to the title and rename the title, because I don't like the title name I'm seeing here, which is sum of revenue by name of customer. Simply highlight and just say revenue by customer. Remember what I said, less is more. So I'm now showing revenue by customer. So if you are asked which customer gave us the highest revenue, what's the response? Which customer gave us the highest revenue? All of us can easily now be able to answer the customer that gave us the highest revenue. And that's simply Tolu Okoro, followed by Amaka Yusuf, and so on and so forth. So moving fast, I already know the things I want to achieve. So next thing I want to do is, I want to also bring out another visual down here. Okay, so let me click this down. I want to bring out another visual here. And what do I want to communicate? I know the person that gave us the highest revenue, but who purchased from us the highest number of times? Okay, so revenue might be a factor of, remember, price and number of purchases. Okay, but right now I want to know who purchased from us the highest number of times. So simply click on it. Your name of customer is still valid. Simply remove this sum of revenue you have on the x-axis by tapping on the x segments, and now move your number of purchases into it. So if I move my number of purchases into it, I now replace it to show me the customers with respect to how they purchase from us. Okay, the same way you can now decide to change the color. Come to the bars here. I want it to represent our second brand color, which is this. So I simply represent it by this. So like this, can easily see what we are doing. I hope we are all following. So also change the title to now be purchase by customer, because it's no more revenue by customer, it's now purchase by customer. So it's now showing me number of purchase these guys made by our customer. So the person that purchased the most is also the person that gave us the highest number of revenue. All right, but I can see that the second person that gave us the highest revenue didn't buy the most from us. So Musa bought 120 times, okay? But the second person by revenue is Amaka Yusuf. So you can easily see those information that you need for you to be able to make a decision from your business. Are we still following? I'm going to run very, very fast. Remember, you have the recording, can practice on your own. And if you have questions, simply shoot me a message on LinkedIn and we're going to have conversations, or drop it in the group chat and someone will also be here to answer the questions that you have. Now, I want to show revenue by states, right? I want to show revenue by state. So I want to represent it in bar charts, okay? I don't want it to occupy this entire place. So simply, let me choose the place I want it to be, which is here. Revenue by state is still the same thing. I have my state showing in the x-axis. So drag your state and drop in the x-axis. And then revenue, drop in the y-axis. So it's simply showing you revenue by state already. Easily showing your revenue by state. You can see that it is a lot. It's not giving us what we need. So I want us to add filter. How do you add filter? Click on this filter here. You can see different filters here. Click to expand this. You are seeing basic filtering. I want it to just show us the top 5 states. So what I'm going to do is click on top N. If I click on top N, I'll come here and then type in 5. It's not asking me to add by what value do you want to get this. So I want to get it by also that revenue value, which is drag my revenue and drop in the value segment also and apply my filter. So it's now showing me top 5 states immediately. My top 5 states. So I want it to also show in my brand color, which is simply this color that I have here. So click on your column, scroll down, change the color to represent your brand color, which is this. All right. You can also make some changes, some editing, go to your properties, your title, turn off what you want to turn off if it's not okay for you. But remember, less is more. So for x-axis, I want to turn off the title because it's already showing the names of those states. And on y-axis also, I want to turn off the title as well. So I'll do the same thing for y-axis and turn off the title that exists on y-axis. So you can easily see it better. Then increase my title, bolding it and call it revenue by states. So I already have my revenue by states. And I'll also add my shadow so that I can create a distinction between what's going on. So simply go to general, go to effects, and turn on your shadow. You can easily see it right here. If you want to turn on data label, the same thing, come here, scroll down, you can see your data labels, also turn it on so they can also have them showing the exact numbers. So next thing I want to also represent now is I want to show the items that we sold, which one actually gave us the revenue that they gave us. So remember, I'm duplicating it and I'm dropping it right here. So I want to do this using my pie chart. So pie chart is easier for us to represent things that make up a specific amount. Okay, so you want to show this is a percentage of this, this is a percentage of that. That is what I want to do now. So I want to show the items that we purchased by revenue. How did they actually happen? So remember, this thing is currently showing legend of states. In the legend, it's showing states. So I'll remove it and simply put item purchased inside it. Okay, my revenue is still okay for me, right? Showing these things. Now it is showing a lot of information. So I'm going to also add a filter to show me just the top 5. Okay, I'm going to add a filter to show me the top 5. So once I click on it, basic filtering, the same thing, click on top N and then click on 5. Then I'm going to now add revenue in that segment as well and apply my filter. So it's now showing me only the top 5 of those items. So you can now format it how you want it to look like. Remember, you have a brand color. So all you have to do is simply click on it. Also, go to your format visual, click on the general, and change it the way you want. Let me change the title to, first of all, represent items by revenue. So we have our items by revenue. I want to change the colors to represent my brand color. So if I click on these slices here, Can see it's showing me series all. No. If I select laptop, how do I want it to show? What color do I want it to show? I'll now change it to what I want it to show. That same way, you can change every single one of them. So I want them to represent my brand color. So I'm going to give them my brand color so that you're not doing color riots. So it's important that we know these things, because sometimes some people will do analytics and it's going to be doing like that, doing makeup. All right, so it's important for you to understand your brand color and always work within that same branding. So you can easily see that I've represented everything you are wanting to look. If you look at this closely now, you can see that what gave us the highest revenue from all our items? The answer is simple: laptop. All right, you can see it. Laptop gave us the highest, which is 36.25%, followed by this, which is phone. So easily can now be able to have everything that you need. Can close to next to show you all those things. So, and that is as simple as it can be. All right. Now, there's one easy thing I want to add, then I'm done with this. I want to add one more. Let me use a donut chart to represent this entire segment. Remember, the things that the insight from this data can be a lot. It can be a lot, but it's you that knows what you want to get out of it. So simply, I want to show gender distribution by our revenue also. Who purchased from us more? So value still will be sum of revenue, and then I'll drag gender and drop here. So you can easily see, showing me that our customer is more of female-centric. Okay, we have more female here, 54%, compared to male, which is 45%. Also, make it to be in your brand color, do some changes. I want to change the slices. So female, I know female, you guys like bright color. So let me use the bright color for you. And then I'm going to leave the guys with the darker color of our brand. So simply can see that we've been able to build this report to show us insights of what the data is showing. So gender by revenue. So you can see we have everything that we need. There's still other insight that I can bring us from this. But if I'm performing or if I'm doing this on my own, trust me, all these things can be achieved within 5 minutes if you know what you are doing. Can be achieved within 5 minutes. So if I'm speaking to my stakeholders and I'm speaking from laptop alone, I can say, okay, laptop gave us the highest revenue for the entire year. And in Q1 alone, laptop gave us a revenue of 34 million. In Q2, laptop gave us a revenue of 22 million. In Q3, it gave us a revenue of 8 million. In Q4, it gave us a revenue of this. So you can see how interactive your dashboard is. And this is how you present your data. This is how you also tell a story. And this is how you make your stakeholders understand what they are saying. So you can now say, okay, if you want to target or present royalties to our highest performing customers by purchase, can know who it is. Highest performing customers by revenue, can know who it is. The highest case that gave us everything that we needed, Platinum gave us the highest amount. Okay, followed by Nasarawa. And same way you have your top 5, can also look at your bottom 5, which means, okay, these are now states that I need to improve maybe in my marketing activities, or state that I need to improve in my, giving incentive for people to make purchase. But you're not going to know all these things if you didn't look at the data. So clearly, you can see how we converted that data that we have into this right now. Okay, I don't know whether we got to this level with me because we are done with building this dashboard. Now, I'm going to show us how we can do this with AI in less than a few minutes. Okay, but remember, AI is there to also help you with what you are doing. So initially, I mentioned that we have a couple of AI that we can actually use. Okay, you can see what we had here before was this, but in the context of building this, we are now able to come up with something like this. So always, it is by your imagination that you come up with what you want to show. But the easiest way to go about it is also to utilize AI. To ask AI, okay, what information, what insights can I bring out from this data? And that is what we are going to do right now. So for people that are just starting up and do not know how to go about it, how do I solve this problem? First thing you need to understand is AI is there to optimize what you already know. So when I talk about AI, there are different AIs that are there. We have Claude AI, you have Gemini, you have ChatGPT that we all know, right? So first of all, let's look at ChatGPT. So first of all, let's look at ChatGPT. All right, so this is ChatGPT. And the only thing I did with ChatGPT is simple. I asked ChatGPT the same data set that we are using. I had to copy it and paste it here. And I asked ChatGPT, please analyze the attached data and bring out insights from it. Also create visual appealing data. This is a simple prompt that I dropped for it here, right? This is a simple prompt that I dropped for it, and it was able to give me this. Now, if you click on this, you can easily also see what ChatGPT was able to come up with. You can see for ChatGPT, it was working on top 10 states by purchase frequency. So you can see, okay, top 10 states by purchase frequency. And it's also showing you top 10 items purchased. Okay, and it was now going towards monthly revenue and also gender distribution. Okay, so but you can clearly see that interactive chart of this type is not yet supported. All right, it is not yet supported. So if you're utilizing AI to build this right now, there are some limitations to what you can achieve. So as a data analyst, if you're asked a question, oh, can we isolate this to know what happened alone for the female? You may not be able to achieve that because it is not interactive. So will it give you what you are looking for? Yes, it's giving you this visual. But is it going to enable you to be a better data analyst at this moment? It will not give you that. Okay? Because if you remember, if you go back to our Power BI right here, if they ask you a question, okay, can we isolate it to gender and see how the female alone performed? And easily click on female. And once you click on it, it has now given you the information based on just female alone. It simply means female gave us 132 million revenue. When you remove it again, remember the total is 243. When you select it, it's showing you that female alone gave you 132 million. So are you seeing that AI is there to also assist you, but your knowledge of data and the tools to utilize is still important for you to achieve what you need to know. Now, I tried a simulation with other platforms out there. The closest to it is Claude AI, right? Claude AI gives you the ability to also build these things in interactive forms, but there are also limitations. So I've already built with Claude AI. Let me simply come to what I've built before now. Okay, I hope this is still here. All right. So this is my visual that Claude AI was also able to give. And it's also the same thing. I simply uploaded my data to Claude and asked Claude AI, I need you to analyze the attached data and create visuals from the insights that you will bring out. Make it as detailed as possible. All right. And Claude AI started building for me. Of course, like I said, Claude AI, when it comes to these things, builds better than ChatGPT. So you can easily see what it was also able to come up for me. Okay, I need to remove these things so that I can have a better background to showcase. So you can see what Claude AI was also able to come up with. So you can easily see what it's also come up with. Oh, it's approaching it from total revenue 42.5 million. And this is entirely wrong. All right, this is wrong. So you can see that even though it's giving it to me in an interactive form, there are still little error that it is having. And you can easily see that it even told you that same thing. Oh, while I was doing this, I had an error. So if you are now dependent on artificial intelligence right now, is it going to enable you to be a better data analyst? No, because there are errors that can come up. And when it happens, if you don't have that underground knowledge, that initial understanding that a data analyst needs to have, that's where you're going to run into issue, right? See, it also gave me that same thing that I did with my own product, clearly showing that laptop is the highest selling, followed by air conditioner. The same thing, this one is correct, all right? It is 100% correct, but is it interactive? No, all right? It is just interactive in its own way that when you hover over it, it's going to show you what you need to do. So there are still limitations. For gender distribution, accurate. It gave me the same thing that my own also gave me, 53 against 47, the same thing. All right. So this is to show you that AI is there to assist you. All right. But that underground knowledge that you need is important, because as a data analyst, your information that you're providing is very, very key. So how do I want us to proceed with regards to AI? All right. So look at what I want you to do. If you are starting up and you want to utilize AI to make decisions and be able to build easily, what you simply need to do is understand what you need to do using those tools, and simply ask ChatGPT, this is my data set that I've provided for you. All right, let's ask it, okay, from the data set provided, comma, list the various visuals that I can create from this to enable me showcase insights from the data set. All right, so this is what I've asked it. Okay, from data set provided, provide this and this for me, and so on and so forth. So you can see what is now telling me. Customer demography. So I think it's someone that asked me, how was I able to know things to build? So if you're also struggling to, okay, I think that's Priscilla. If you're struggling to know things to build, that is where artificial intelligence can also assist you. And this is to show you the collaboration between them. So I've asked it, I've given it the data. So now tell me, from the data set that I've given you, list the various visuals that I can create from this to enable me showcase insight from the data set. So first thing it's telling me is gender distribution pie chart. Okay, so it's now showing you proportion of male versus female customers. It's now showing you number of purchases by gender, by bar charts. Okay, so are we seeing how we can utilize AI to now also enable us on our own too? So now top customers by number of purchase. So you can easily see it as well here. It is showing you what you need to know. It is showing you things that you also need to build as well. Total spend by customer per bar chart as well. So this is for customer demography. Now it's going to aspect of product performance. It's not telling you to also build top 10 most purchased items bar charts. All right, average price per item bar charts. So you can see there's a lot of insights that we can bring us from this data that by just looking at it, you may not instantly see it. But by simply giving it your data set and asking it, give me the information of things to create, is now making your work easier. So you can see various things that you can now build from it. And once you've seen what you need to build, with your underlying knowledge of data analytics, you can now easily come to your tool and be able to build those things. Okay, so when it comes to AI right now, AI is here to make our job easier. It's here to optimize what you know and make it easier for you to be able to provide more. All right, and also to produce more with lesser time. So instead of sometimes cracking your brain, okay, what is this? What is that? How do I build this? How do I build that? Simply by utilizing AI, you can do those lesser ones for you. And then you can now go back to the drawing board and build what you need to build. I don't know if you all followed me to this very moment. And I don't know if we saw how we can actually be able to utilize all these things to make our life easier. Okay, so I think I was able to use ChatGPT. I was able to show Claude. Also, in your own personal time, try to also utilize Gemini, okay? And see how all of them are actually providing you insights on how to do better as a data analyst. But most important thing is, as of today, if you are only utilizing it to give you insights, it will tell you something that there is tendency for them to actually make mistake. So let me go to Gemini. I'm going to see what Gemini is telling me. I think one of them, okay, you see ChatGPT is telling you, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. You can see it's clearly written here. It can make mistake. But you as a data analyst, you can't afford to make mistake. So the easiest and best way to collaborate effectively with it is simply ask it, what do I need to build? What do I need to generate? And then make sure that you know how to use those tools and now build it yourself. Okay? And that is as simple as it can be. Remember, we extracted, transformed, loaded. and you build your own visual. And also, you can also use generative AI to also build some of those outputs as well. Okay, I think my slide is hanging. My slide is hanging. Okay, and this is where I now try to also encourage all of us to make sure that we get the skills as it relates to data. All right, I know that there is this general fear on everyone right now. AI is coming to take our job. AI is coming to take our job. Trust me, it's just like the days that internet came up, and then we started saying internet is coming to take our job. For people that are as old as I am, people born in the 1980s, right? That we experienced the whole advent of internet. Clearly, you'd see that at a point, some people are saying, "Oh, internet is going to make us lazy. Why do I have to go to the library to go and research? Why are you doing this? You need to just use internet." That's the same way people are now saying AI is going to make you lazy. AI is going to do this. AI is going to do that. But if you master how to utilize it right now, it's simply going to optimize what you know and help you to also be better on that role. Okay? So the same way I asked that initial question, whether you are a research worker or a research student and you went to the library to skip through books to build your project work, build your case study, and someone else is utilizing internet, Google, simply utilizing Google Scholar to look for that same book from the comfort of their house, reading it, and then being able to bring out their own write-ups. Two of you are doing the same thing, but one person is utilizing smarter tools to make it better. So that is what AI is here to do for us. So the same way people are telling you that when you also we are writing your CVs, don't use AI because this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Companies are also using AI to sieve that same CV that you are sending to them. So everyone is optimizing. Most important thing is now for you to learn how do you utilize all those generative AI that is now out here for us to make better and smarter decisions. From the aspect of data analytics, you can see how we utilize data analytics to be able to show us smarter decisions and smarter visuals that we can build from our data set. But if you ask it to build that exact data set, there is now tendency for you to make mistake. Okay, so what you need to learn is asking it to give you insight that you want to build up and then build it from yourself. And that is the best way that you can actually grow and be able to make smarter and better decisions. So for the last couple of months, we've trained a lot of people, not just in data analytics, in different aspects, data engineering, cyber security, any skill that you can think of. We've actually been able to provide those skills for people. All right, we've done a couple of things with Fair Money. We've trained Pairs Insurance. We've done TGI. We've done Nigerian Bureaus. We've also trained with Mikano Group and also Kaori, okay, and several other people. And what we do most time is we have a platform that helps people to learn better. Okay, we have a productive intelligence platform that is there to help you learn better. And one thing is, the traditional way is going to give you maybe one-time event, no continuity or support, and then you're going to forget. You're going to have generic and irrelevant content that is not even tailored to your own area. Okay, and also the insights into that learning, there is no progress from the ROI. You've paid 500,000, you've paid 100,000, you've paid 10,000. How do you quantify and rate your investments? Okay, and also it's all theoretical. You can see that everything that we did today, they are all fully practical based approach. And these are the traditional ways that most people are going to approach you. Okay, and also no accountability. But for us here at Analytics, we have tailored and role-specific training. All right, for instance, you are someone that's in customer service, we'll have customer service tailored for you. Your company wants to do one for sales, we have it tailored to sales. Your company wants to have one specific for the managers, we'll have it tailored for the managers. Okay, they are all tailored to your own specific role need. And also they are all fully hands-on and project-based. We don't come into any training and be expecting anything theoretical. No, it is fully a hands-on practical class. Now, this is just a master class. In the actual class itself, someone is going to be there to handhold you because highest figures are going to be maybe 10 to 15 people in a class. And if you're having challenges, you are sharing your screen and the person is walking you through it. And there's also a trackable progress. when you started, you didn't know anything in this point, you didn't know anything in this point, you didn't know anything in this point. And by the end, you are going to achieve this and you're going to achieve that. And also day zero disruption. Because the same way this session is recorded, that is how all your sessions are recorded. That even if you dropped off or you had a disruption, you have access to the recorded version of it. Okay? And this is to make sure that you have everything that you need. Okay? And also you have expertise with regards to global standards. We are fully registered in Canada and we operate from several different countries. Okay? Which means you are working on data sets that is real life. Okay? Because we play in the consulting space as well. When we get data set that is maybe related to the banking sector, we are working on the banking sector. And this is how you build up your projects for you to be able to show experience. So when employers ask you, what experience do you have? You can easily speak, oh, while I was consulting with an analytics business, I worked on this project. These are specific ways that you can easily be able to build up yourself and show more value to your employer. If you're looking to transition to tech, or if you are looking to improve your earning power, or if you are looking to not allow the AI boom to also leave you aside. Okay, so we've covered so many trainings in this industry, in financial services, in FMCG, in oil and gas, in telecom, in logistics, in tech and startup, and also in HR and recruitment firms. And of course, for virtue of the fact that you are here, we have an amazing discount for you. Okay, so even if you're an individual that you also want to train yourself personally, we're also here to assist you. You can also register yourself and be able to get that same skill that companies come to us to register their staff for. Okay, you have a free demo session, you have unlimited seats, and of course, you can train all your employees, and we are here for that. Or you can also train yourself specifically. We're also here to help you achieve that. So in the next couple of days, we'll have trainings that are coming up. Okay, by September 3 to September 5th, we're going to be having a training that is fully centered on data analytics and AI for workflow automation. So for that training, you're learning how to actually work as a data analyst, and also how do you infuse AI into functioning as a data analyst fully. All right. And then we also have a tech summer boot camp for our students. So if you're a student and you're looking to also learn skills that is going to equip you with what you need to learn in the tech industry, we're also here to assist you. Okay. And these are all the next programs that we have. The summer boot camp for undergraduates is starting in the next few weeks, August 11th to August 25th. All right. And there are some amazing things that you as a student can also benefit from this. And one is you're going to have a 3 weeks live virtual training workshop. Okay. You're also going to have a versatile approach that is also looking at the finance sector, health sector, e-commerce, and governance. All right. So what this means is that by the time that you are done, you're going to comfortably say, oh, I've been able to consult in the financial space. I've been able to do this in the health sector. I've been able to do this in the government parastatal. Okay. You're going to be learning how to utilize Excel and Power BI from beginning to end. So you have a 3 weeks training, 3 weeks self-paced. You have a modeled video that you're also going to watch, and you're going to have a live interactive session with someone as well. And for the students, they're going to be having a career coaching and also job-ready skills that we're going to infuse in it, as well as your CV reviews and LinkedIn optimization to enable you and equip you to land jobs immediately you are done. But for my guys that are not students, you have to approach it from the data analysis and AI for workflow automation, where you're going to learn how do you analyze and interpret business data effectively. No matter the department that you're working in, it's important that you know how to interpret data. How do you automate some of these repetitive tasks? And of course, build reports and dashboard that save time and drive smarter decisions. So the data analytics and AI starts from September 3, while the students' summer boot camp starts August 11th. And how can you secure your spots? It's very, very simple. How can you secure your spots? All you have to do is simply click on the link that I have on this my slide. Okay, so for data analytics and AI workflow, the full amount is 200,000, but currently have discounts running, which means you can secure it for 150. But if you're a company and you're coming to train maybe 3 to 5 people, it keeps going down to 135. And if you're coming to train up to 6 people, it's now up to 127,000 for you and your collective staff. So all you have to do is simply click to secure your spots. It's a 3-day training that runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, virtually and recorded for you to also have access to it. For the students own, you can also click on this link that my colleagues are also dropping to secure your spots, and you can easily get it. For the students, the full amount is also 200,000, but you have the option to secure it for the 100,000 naira discounts that we're currently running, which means entirely 50% off for students to learn how to build yourself, to equip yourself to land all those tech jobs that you are looking for. Remember, make sure you fill the attendance form so that by the time you are done, you have access to recorded version, and you can easily be able to click on any of them and see what we are talking about. So all you can do is just when you click on the link, or when you browse to come into our Analytics website, Analytics business website, you can easily click on Open Program, and you're going to see the open program that we have coming up, which is Data Analytics and AI for Workflow Automation. All you have to do is simply scroll down and register to secure your spot. Okay, you can also view to see the curriculum of everything that you're going to be learning. Okay, business analysts and data professionals seeking to integrate AI, and also for Excel users and also different people, you can actually see what you are expected to now learn from every single one of those training. The same approach, but remember, the discount is not for everyone. Okay, it is not always for everyone. There's a limit to what we can discount. So once we get the full amount, the first 10 people to actually secure their spots, the price goes back to the full amount. And we don't have control over when that 10 spots are fully filled. It can be filled in 1 day, can be filled in 2 days. So I always advise people to try and secure their spots at the moment that they are having or hearing this training. Okay, I hope you all got what I have to say. And if you require a live demo, can easily reach out to us. Okay, just contact treasure@10analytics.org. You can also send an email to business@10analytics.org, and someone from our team is definitely going to be there to walk you through every single thing that you need to know regarding how do you excel in this space, how do you build up your talents, how do you increase the skills that your staff have, and how do you make them better. Remember, things that we're able to do today within maybe 30 minutes, if you have the skill and you're not teaching anybody, you can achieve all those things within 5 minutes. Okay? These are things that you can easily learn, an easier way for you to now better and upskill yourself. I don't know if at this moment we'll have any question from anyone. You can use the raise hand icon, or you can type the question in the comment box, and I'm going to instantly take it up. Okay, Priscilla, your hand is up. Please go ahead and ask your question, Priscilla.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Priscilla.
Okay, my question is, so it's based on the dashboard you created. How do we share that kind of dashboard on LinkedIn or any other social media and still have it to like and still leave it interactive? Like, how is that done?
Okay, all right. So on social media, on LinkedIn, it may not be possible for you to share it to be interactive because you are working within this. All right, but that's what we call Power BI service. So Power BI service is like a web version of Power BI. So for instance, I'm done doing this, I can be asked to publish this online. So if you publish it online, it's going to give it a link. So can you see this publish here, Priscilla?
Yes, I can.
All right, so once you publish it online, it's going to give it a link. But for you to be able to have access to Power BI service, you need to have a company account within this Power BI. You have to create an account and sign in appropriately. So it is fully free for desktop based, but when you now start looking to publish online, try to get into Microsoft Power BI service, that's where it's now tilting towards a paid aspect. Right, but for you to have it interactive and in the web version, the Power BI service is the best option for you. So once you click on publish here, you can now easily save your data, publish it online, and with that same link, once you're now speaking to people, they can easily click on that link and have access to it. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but for you to just take this and put on LinkedIn and make it interactive, it is not yet a service that is built right now. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So what most people do, Priscilla, is that they record themselves speaking about these things. For instance, you want to communicate on LinkedIn, you can have your camera positioned on your screen. Okay, so the same way I join with my two devices, I'm using one to build and I'm using one to look at it. I can record it and now be able to show and post that video online. For instance, I can start by, hi guys, I want to show you how I was able to analyze M Analytics was able to analyze customer data and what we were able to come up with. We were able to see that the total revenue was 203 million, and for female alone, the revenue that they gave us was 132 million. And male alone, the male guys alone gave us 111 million, which is showing you that female were more productive for us than the male. And also, you can also see the items by revenue. The laptops gave us the highest revenue. So you can see the one I'm speaking, I'm explaining my data and I'm recording myself. And in the end, I can now post it as a video on those places I want it to be. So this is also an option for you. And if you want to export that data, you can export it to PDF that will make this thing that we've created right now is going to now be in PDF format. So this is the one that you can easily see. This is PDF format, so it's not interactive, right? But for you to now create those interactive ones, you need to now make a video of you doing them, or you publish the Power BI service and be able to now share the link of the Power BI service. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Priscilla.
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do I have another question from any other person before we round up for today? I know I said this is going to be a 1 hour session, but as you guys may have it, it's roughly 2 hours. It's roughly 2 hours. That's unlike me. All right, Christian, please go ahead with your question. Yeah, Christian, are you there? Please go ahead with your question. If you are speaking, you are muted, Christian. Christian, if you are speaking, you are muted.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. My question goes on that same power, what do they call it? You say power whatever.
Power BI.
Yeah, Power BI. So, like, I want to understand the word Power BI. Is it like a web-based stuff, or is it a software?
All right. So it's an application that you can install on a laptop. All right. And it also has a web version of it, which is the Power BI service. All right. So it's an application that you have to install in your laptop. It's like a desktop. It's like a, what's it called? A software in your laptop. For instance, if you look at my screen, I can see this here. This is Power BI I've installed right here. All right. So it's like an application that you install that you can now use for your analysis. But it also has a web version, which is the Power BI service that can now easily be utilized on web. All right. I hope that answers your question, Christian. All right. There's another person that the hand is up. Mustafa, please go ahead. Mustafa Muhammad, please go ahead with your question. Hi, Mustafa, if you're speaking, you are muted. Okay, Mustafa, we can't hear you. If you're speaking, you are muted. And some of us may be thinking that, okay, Mustafa, you're there now. Mustafa, are you ready to
Hello,
speak?
good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes,
Mustafa.
good evening, sir. Please, if is it possible
please go
to
ahead.
get the video, because I miss a lot. I joined very late. Is it possible to get the video, even if it is on YouTube?
Yes, of course, you're going to get it, Mustafa. So my colleagues are dropping a link for you to fill the attendance form. So after this, we're going to send the slide and the recorded version of this to everyone that filled the attendance form. All right, so we're going to share the slide and the recorded version to you as well. I hope that answers your question, Mustafa. I think there's a question from someone, Nefisat. It's me again. I've tried many means to the attendance from, but I couldn't. How can I stay access the recording and resources, please? All right, Nefisat, please, do you mind dropping your email? Here, maybe one of my colleagues can pick it up and then make sure that they also add it to the people that are going to be sending it out to. All right, this is a one-off, all right? Or personally just drop it there, and then my colleagues are going to also pick it up for you. All right, please, Treasure or anyone that is on the call, please, let's make sure that we pick Nefisat's email, and she's having challenges filling the attendance form. Okay, so like I said earlier to everyone, remember, data analytics is a process, okay? Many times we always rush into, oh, let me just learn visualizations and move on. But visualization is not just data analytics. You need to learn how to properly understand the problem that you need to solve. And that is where data analytics starts from. The visuals that you've seen us create today, trust me, it is secondary. Okay, because like you know, AI can easily also be able to do this for you. I'm sure in the next years to come, they're going to perfect it to be able to not make mistakes when they analyze data. And in that moment, it's not just about what the AI is now doing, it's now your thought process around it. How do you want to solve this problem? So that is what clearly builds you as a data analyst, problem solving. Visual is just a way for you to now communicate the problem that you're solving in a way that is appealing. All right. And if you want to learn all these things, remember, we are fully here for you. The same way I was here trying to walk everybody, carry everybody along. That is how, when you join the sessions also, someone like myself is also going to be that. In fact, people that are better than me, they're going to be there to also walk you through all these things that you need. Like I always tell everyone, I didn't start off my career in tech. I studied civil engineering. Started from the banking sector, moved to the fintech. And this is to show you that even if you studied something that is not related to tech, you can still be able to get into tech. You can still have those tech skills. And even when I transitioned and got the skills, I was still working in the banking sector. And that's to tell you that tech is a general sector of the economy. Whether you're in education, whether you're in oil and gas, whether you're in financial services, there is still need for someone that has all these skills. All right? There's need for someone that knows how to do all these things. So why not get the skill and prepare yourself for the future of jobs? Okay? Remember, our next open program that is coming up on September 3 to September 5th for data analytics and AI for workflow automation. And also for students out there, we have a special summer bootcamp training for you that is centered around data analytics also. And if you have a specific need that you want us to tell us for you or your organization, please feel free to shoot us an email. And someone from my team, treasure@tenancies.org or business@tenancies.org, someone from our team will be right there to answer your question. So thank you guys so much for listening to me for the last 2 hours. And I really appreciate you being here. On behalf of my guys, Treasure, and every person that made this session to be possible, I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you. So guys, this is where we draw the curtain. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and we're going to continue the conversation. And when you practice and build your own dashboard, share it on LinkedIn, tag me, let me comment on what you've also been able to build. And right there, that's how we grow each other. That's how we work on projects, and that's how we make ourselves better. So cheers, everyone, and let's have a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful night, depending on where we are joining from. Bye, guys, and all the best.